Hey guys, let me see if I can find a better place to prop y'all up on. I feel like this is a little better, but let me get started. I am basically just gonna go over what I believe the best back to school supplies are for college students. Most of these school supplies will work for high schoolers, but I'm currently going to be a sophomore at my college in about a week-ish. I have to get everything, and I am in the middle of moving, so I have some of the stuff with me and some of the stuff is back at my other house that I'm moving from. So I'm gonna just show y'all what I have with me, and then I'll probably just insert some pictures, excuse me, for the stuff that I don't have. And it is pretty late at night, so I'm trying to stay decently quiet so I'm not very loud and don't wake anyone else up, because I don't want them coming in and being like, what you doing? And then I gotta explain this. So here's my backpack. I have the Targus backpack from Best Buy. I got it when it was on clearance for like $14. So if y'all find it, it's a great backpack. Let me just show y'all. It has so many freaking pockets, which is great for me because I like everything being organized and in their like right place. So it comes with a place to put your computer, and then another place to put like papers and stuff, and then just a huge area to put other things. And then this, like what I call the medium pocket, has just empty down here, and then places to put like a calculator and some pens and pencils, which I've used this so much that I've like ripped through this, and then I just put other stuff in here. And then the next one is this one, and it just goes straight through. There's nothing like really special, but I like keeping all my like most accessible items here. And then the last pocket is about this big, and I know some people like using it for putting pencils and everything, but personally I like putting like my pads and tampons and just stuff I won't be using as much in that one. But if y'all would like me to do like a backpack tour, like let me know in the comments and I will definitely do one. But I'm gonna just set this down for now. And now we are going to move on to the planner. I get the Stellar planner. It's an Office Depot brand, and I typically can only find it there, and I believe it's about $10. So we are going to ignore the mess. Here it is. I love this to do my schedule. Since we have 2 semesters, it's perfect. Or if you have different schedules for 3 quarters of the year, or maybe you're taking classes for fall, spring, and then the 2 summer options, at least at my school. And then I always like this because then I can put birthdays and just other things to remember. This is a monthly page. This is what the weekly page looks like. And what I typically like to do is I like to write my work schedules towards the bottom, and then I'll put, say I'm working 3 to 11 p.m. and then I have it right there and I can see when planning things. And I typically like to actually highlight the days I work. Let me show you how I used mine from last year. This is mine from last year. I always like to keeping an extra one in here. Let me see. I had bought mine pretty late in the year. This is literally the first day of last year, of when the spring classes started, and I would just put my class and then what was due for that day. It was very crazy, and this helps you differentiate all your classes so you know if you're working, when to plan work. And now I can finally get rid of this planner now that I'm done with all of it. And towards the end they'll have just an overview of all holidays and special dates, and they leave links so you can add your own. And then assigned book readings. I don't actually use it this time because last semester I didn't, and I really struggled getting them done on time because I could never remember. and if I didn't have my syllabus with me, I couldn't check. Here it's just simple weights and measurements and volumes, and then I like putting a couple things that we had to use not common, but we needed to know. And then they leave places for notes and other things. And then United States is on this side, and then the world map is on this side, and this is everything. And I hope you'll get it. I loved it, and this was the best planner I could have ever found. I waited way too long to make this video, but I'm still like getting stuff that I've ordered just to try to get the best deals for everything. And then the next thing on the list is Scantrons. I would get like a value pack of like Amazon if you know that's something your school will have you using a lot. My school personally, they have like our, I don't know, it's like an SGC or SAO or it's something like that, but they always have free Scantrons, so I personally don't pay for them. But when they would run out like for a couple weeks at a time and I didn't have enough, then I would have to buy the super expensive Scantrons for like $1 to $2 a piece when I could just order a value pack off of Amazon for like $10. I get 100 sheets for 10, and then I'm chilling. Hope that didn't mess with anything. But the next thing is pencils. If you are prone to, here, actually give me a second, I need to plug in my phone. If you are very prone to losing all of your pencils throughout the year, definitely get like a cheap pack of like mechanical pencils. Just keep them like on your desk at home and toss 5 pencils in your bag at a time. I am not one of those people. I got like these are the break resistant clear point 0.5 mm by Papermate. Freaking love Papermate, and they're really small, and I just love how small like the lead is, just because it just looks so much cuter for me, and I personally write very small, so I really like them. So I went and bought like, they come in like a 2-pack, and I bought 3 of them in, I believe, high school my sophomore year, like right before COVID, and I'm about to be a sophomore in college, and I still have almost all of them. I think one of them broke because my dog like chewed it up, but other than that I have all of them. So like, this is a very good pencil, and if you like very small like writing and thickness, this is like perfect for you, and it's very comfortable for me. And the problem with the bigger ones is that they were too big and I have very small hands. So, but moving on, the next thing I would really recommend is having either at least a black pen and maybe a blue pen if you like want a couple extra colors, like mandatory, because for some of your tests they'll want you writing in pen, so you can't like erase it, or like when you're doing markups, just things like that. I like getting the Pigma Micron 05, and it's micro pigment ink for waterproof and fade-proof lines. And if you want to see like a little demonstration, this is what it looks like on my paper. I did about the same thing. Like about a year later, I realized I couldn't find pens that were writing small enough, so I got these, and then I found them on clearance at Walmart one day, and so I bought a couple packs. But these are the main ones I use. If you don't want to get this brand, Sharpie makes the ultra fine point ones, and they're pretty similar. And I just had a family friend who moved away, and she just gave me like all her Sharpies and everything, so I just have a whole bunch, and I'm just using them until they're dry. But if you're prone to losing things, because I had a bunch of friends who just like could not keep up with anything, and my sister was this way, so just recommend getting like a big value pack of a bunch of cheap black ink pens. The next thing would be highlighters. I'm gonna show y'all mine. Last year, I think I'm missing my green color. Can't tell between the green and the blue, but this is the pastel pack by Sharpie, and it has a smear guard, and it's about this big, and I will highlight one of these. Actually, I'll choose a different color because the lines on my paper are blue. That way I'll do like pink, and I will highlight highlighters to show you. It's kind of what it looks like. I really like it. I have found that they don't smear as much, and I believe that has something to do with the smear guard, but I'm gonna use those just until they run out. But I did get a new pack because I can tell they're not as like juicy as they used to be. So while Walmart was having like their back to school deals, I decided to get this. I got the mild liner creative marker with the chisel tip and bullet tip by Zebra, and this is the 15 count. It was marked down like $9 when it's originally like quite a bit more than that. So I just recommend getting at least a couple highlighters. I always try to get like small versions of everything just to try to keep the weight down in my backpack, because I tend to like overpack and strain my shoulders really easily. That's why like everything you'll see, plus it fits in my hands better, like everything's small instead of like the thick ones, which I know some people like because it's easier for them to grip, but it's not for me. And another thing I would definitely recommend is having a portable charger, because like my phone's currently plugged in, and then always having a cord, and maybe even bringing like a wall plug-in, because your phone's gonna die at some point. I got this one from Best Buy. It's the Anchor brand, and then my cord is just the Apple one that I got with my current iPhone. And then the next thing is sticky notes. I don't have any with me at this house, but I always just get like whatever is the cheapest, to be honest. I like using them for just quick notes, and it's pretty sloppy and whatever, but it's very great to like just slap onto your notes, either as reminders or just taking down something in class that you want to go back in and redo better. Excuse me. Another very important thing to have is a good water bottle. Most schools nowadays, they have the little like fountains where you can like fill up your water bottle, and like because of COVID, most of our fountains like aren't on, and only the water refillable ones are. But yeah, moving on to the next thing. I like writing very small, so the only notebooks that I like have to be like college rule. And then trust me on this, get a one subject and just use it for all your classes, and just write in like the top corner. I'll try to show you. This is kind of how I would do it. I would do your name, because sometimes you're ripping it off, but if it's like a personal one and it's not like for class, then just skip the name and then do the class, and then do day, and then the hour. I do biology, and then it's Thursday 11 a.m. just so I can keep track, keep everything in order, so when I'm having to reference back for like homework and other things, I already know what day I need to return to. Next up is index cards. It's one good to practice on. If you don't want like physical ones, then I definitely recommend using what's the Quizlet. Try to use the free one, or see if your school offers the free, like the paid version for students, because I know some colleges do that, and I know that's really great. That always helped me. And then some teachers will let you use them as like cheat sheets where you can write on like one side of them, use that for class. But like always have at least a couple pages of paper. You never know when you're going to need it. If you have a 4-year degree plan, just see what math classes you're going to have to take. I personally am going to be doing business, and my concentrations are going to be in finance and small business management. Since I'm going to be doing finance, I believe investing in a good calculator is going to be best for me. So I had one like this, but it was an older version that was way bulkier in high school, and a Chick-fil-A packet squeezed into the charging thing, so I can't charge it and it's dead. I'm gonna try to recycle it or get rid of it. This one is the TI-84 Plus CE, and that just means the color edition. I find that colors really help me differentiate things, especially with having ADHD and I believe I have dyslexia. Just really being able to separate things is super important for me to be able to understand things accurately and to fully comprehend it. And then I definitely say having a pair of earbuds, whether they're wireless or just the ones you plug into your phone or your computer, but definitely having them, it's going to help you keep yourself sane when you're needing to study and everyone's talking around you, or if you're just really needing to focus, and just sometimes as a de-stressor while you're walking from one class to the next. And then for girls, I definitely recommend having a boatload of tampons and stuff. I always keep a big one, a regular, and then a tampon. I am on birth control, but I still got my period, and it's very all over the place, and I'm spotting on certain days. And then I always try to have a panty liner. At least I have a couple options. The next things I would definitely have is hand sanitizer. Sometimes the bathrooms aren't going to have soap, and sometimes you're going to be touching something gross. Or if you are going to use an iPad, this is my boyfriend's, and he has the keyboard and everything, and then he has the Apple Pencil. Definitely just make sure you find the right keyboard for you, because if you're going to be taking notes all day and not really be using your keyboard, get a detachable keyboard. Don't have it where you can only bend it like this and this, because this is not going to work for you, especially if you're wanting to use it for art or anything. Like, this is not the right type of keyboard, and it's just some things you need to think about and the classes you're going to be taking, because one of his family members gave him this, so he has one for when he needs to take notes, because first semester we didn't really need the keyboard, but we really needed to be able to have a case to protect the iPad, and as well as pulling it off for notes. But since it's summer, I just have it on loan from him because I like using it while I'm at work, so I can look on scholarships, respond to emails, and just watch shows and whatever once I'm done with doing all my work. On his iPad, he uses GoodNotes, and I've used it a couple times, but I really, especially when you can change the colors, and I believe it was like a couple dollars. Out of everything, that's not going to be your most expensive thing, but an iPad is not necessary. My first semester, I didn't use it at all. In my second semester, you will get along fine with just a notebook. I know everybody had just suddenly got an iPad, but it's not necessary. Your notes are going to be just as good on paper, but if you are going to get it, make sure you are being aware of discounts, sales, as well as promotions, like the Apple, where if you buy something, you will get like I think 150 gift card. It may be different this year, so just make sure you're taking advantage of things for students. And I think that's about it. There's just another thing. I just have a flash drive, just because I did have one class that we were doing like presentations, and he expected us to have a flash drive or email to him. And a lot of times he was having issues with like email because we were doing it through Microsoft, and it's always acting glitchy and acting up. So sometimes he wasn't getting it, and you could have lost points. But after a couple people were having issues with it, he started realizing it's not the students not turning it in and just saying, oh, I don't know what's going on, and that it's a program that the school is providing. The people who were like already had this, they plugged it in and they were set. They didn't have to deal with internet going out. They didn't have to deal with the program not acting right. They just had that. Definitely check your syllabus and don't buy unnecessary things, because you probably won't end up using them. I know a lot of people just got like this, oh, really cute stuff, and then they never used it, and they spent a ton of money because it was a cutified version of something you could have gotten for a couple of dollars and stuff. But I think that's everything for today, and just let me know if you're going to college or high school and what year you're going into and what degree. and just let me know. Bye, y'all.
Can't focus on me.